Hello, everyone, and welcome to the For the Oaks of Africa podcast. It is my delight and pleasure to bring to you today's episode, and I hope you are having a great day. As usual, we are in this space right now, ensuring that we are informed citizens. The goal is to speak to your conscience so that you can do the right thing. Because an informed citizen is a nation's greatest asset. Yeah, an informed citizen is a nation's greatest asset. I hope you've been enjoying all the previous episodes and welcome to today's episode. We will be speaking today on civic duty versus daily hustle. How do Nigerians make time to vote? Again, I believe that nations are not only transformed by the presidents they have, neither are they just transformed by governors or lawmakers, local government chairmen, etc. The transformation of a nation is by the ordinary citizens who understand that citizenship is not a one time event, it is a responsibility, it's a host. I'm your host, Temisan Ojabo, and let us begin. Across Nigeria, when the morning alarm rings, it rings on millions and millions of mobile devices or bedside alarm clocks, whichever the family chooses. People wake up really early. Some are heading to the market, some are heading to open their shops, some are resuming their work places, people are driving boats, ubers, all kinds of functioning transportation system to get to the place of their livelihood. Entering buses, some are people are running factories, running fashion outlets, attending lectures. Yeah, the students, everybody has something that they are doing. For those that live in Lagos, we already saw the viral post of a lady going to the bus station at 4 a.m. and the line was ridiculously long at that time. So it's obvious that transportation, commutes is a thing that happens for all of us. Some of us work hourly, some of us work you know, month end you get paid. Some people they work every 2 weeks, they get paid. Some people work every day, they get paid, depending on the agreements that they have with their employer. Now, you see that commute time, depending on how far or how close work is to you, is a lot of time. It can range from 2 minutes to 1 hour to 2 hours to sometimes 3 to 4 hours. So what that means is you need to arrive early to be able to earn a living, to be able to live as a citizen of a nation. It means the days you don't show up for work, if you did not take time off, like leave, sick leave, or some kind of leave, it means that it is said that you were absent and some kind of deduction will be made on your salaries. Some people, it might be a warning, it might be a query, but there is always a consequence when you're absent from work. Now, there's some place I'm going with this conversation. Whenever conversations about voters registration or elections comes up, there's a workforce language that I always hear. And please understand, when I say workforce, everybody that has a job, no matter the type, from blue collar, white collar, all the collars, every kind of job that you have. You hear them when you say things like, voters election is coming up, elections are coming up. What is your plan? So you hear responses like, I don't have time. I have to look for money. I cannot leave my business. I can't close my shop. Oh, I cannot miss another day of work. The the place I had to go and do this registration is very far from my house. I can't do it. I can't. Oh, there's no time. My workplace will not give me time off. There is always a lot of reasons why we cannot participate in our civic duty and responsibility. And this response, if you listen to it, they are concrete. They are very reasonable. They're very genuine. But then, can we ask ourselves a deeper question from the response that we give? Who created the condition that makes you wake up at 4 a.m., not 4 a.m., let me correct myself, earlier than 4 a.m. to get to a bus station at 4 a.m. to be able to go to a job that starts at 8 or 9 or 7 a.m.? Who created the condition that made you choose to bypass the public transportation system to go for the private buses that charge really high prices, that now ensures that the amount you budgeted for transportation cuts deeper into your monthly paycheck? Why is fuel expensive? Why are the roads bad? Why do you have to leave at 4 a.m.? Why do you have to sleep, get home at 10 p.m. and be at the bus station at 4 a.m.? Why do you have to be at the bus station at 5 a.m.? Why do you have to be at the bus station at 6 a.m.? Why is your office so far from your home that you have to commute unreasonable amounts of hours to get to your workplace? Why is electricity unreliable so that you can't work remotely? Why are businesses paying for generators, solar systems, battery powered equipment, looking for one new electrical technology to bypass what is supposed to be an already existing national grid? Why do graduates finish their university education and are not suitable for the job market? Because the educational curriculum is beyond par, is below par. Why do entrepreneurs spend more time solving government problems than growing their businesses? Why is the private sector always called to come and solve problems that is supposed to be the responsibility of the government? I am not asking us questions that are out of the out of the box. These are not just economic questions. These are civic questions, and civic questions require participation. Participation from the citizens of that nation. In previous episodes, I gave a stat in 2019 of about 35 out of every 100 registered voters showed up to vote. Do you remember that stat that I shared? Okay, great. So, if you've heard someone say that they did not vote because they were busy and then you rolled your eyes, I want you to challenge that reaction, because the data says that they were probably telling you the truth. We have established that 92% of employed Nigerians work informally. So when you break that down further, roughly half of that group are self-employed, meaning nobody pays them if they don't show up at work. So all the 6 a.m. risers, 5 a.m. and 4 a.m. risers, they're legit. They're doing meaningful work to earn a legal, meaningful wage to be able to take care of themselves, to be able to take care of their families. If they do not show up, how will they survive? How will their families survive? Then the other half of the workforce, right, is someone we would say they're entrepreneurs, business owners, founders, etc. Lump them all in that group. for the sake of this podcast so that we don't elongate in trying to differentiate the different categories of work members, right? So there are those sets. Then there's another chunk who work, but they don't have any form of protection that come with a formal contract, right? Which means that if their employer just decides not to pay them, there's nobody that will do anything. The most they will do is to say, we'll swear for them, we'll swear for the business owners. You know those things that happen. Because that employer has no legal obligation to give them any paid time off. They cannot even give them any kind of holiday. They do what they like. So the people that work for these kinds of people are at the mercy of their employers. This is the reality of working in African nations. There's the very formal sector, there's the informal sector, and there's the in between. They don't know, they just do their best, hoping, fingers crossed, that based on trust, they will get paid. So, busy in Nigeria is not laziness. In Africa, for most Nigerians, it is just that arithmetic process. You know, today you're in Ladipo market, tomorrow you are moving as a bus driver in somewhere else, next tomorrow you are, you hear people say, I met someone one time and the guy was like, I said, what do you do? He said, plenty things. I said, explain. In the morning he wakes up, he goes to his factory job. He does 3-hour shift, leaves there, he drives a bus for a school. So by the time he does that 5 a.m. to 7, I think it's 7 or 8, he will now move to do the school driving bus work, convey all the students in the school, and then he takes a bit of rest, and then he has another job he does in the afternoon. This is the daily average regular Nigerian trying to do their best to earn a living, right? So when you now tell them voters registration, in their mind, I don't have that time to waste. I don't have that effort. Please just leave me to be managing my day in and day in life. Don't bother me with all of these things, because Nigerians will choose to avoid the immediate one, right? Some Nigerians, let me use that word. Some Nigerians will choose to just go about their daily activities than leave their, in quotes, schedule to do something that's out of what they usually do. Now, when we say get your voters registration card and you do not get it, right? Many people don't understand the gravity of that. And I say this within the context of when you use your job, your business, your what you do as the reason why you cannot participate. Some people say things like, you don't understand. I don't even understand the way the election works. So let me leave it for them. Some people also say things like, politics is a very dirty game. I don't want to be involved. So they pull away. Others say things like, oh, politics is man no man. They already know who they are going to put there. Says who? That is the insinuation, right? That's the rhetoric that they put out there to get you to not be a part of the system. So when we say to you, these questions of the why do graduates struggle to find jobs, the why people have to stay in traffic for hours, the why sometimes people get laid off. There are no workplace laws that protects people. It is those that are brave enough to sue their organizations that get, even at then, it's a 50-50 chance. There is a saying that many people know. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Now, let me adapt that to what we do here. If you don't make time for democracy, you may spend years paying for bad leadership. Think about that. Imagine refusing to service your car before driving it. Eventually, the car will break down. At some point, if you refuse to go to the medical facility for checkups because you are busy, one day your body will tell you, I'm not going again. and you'll be forced. If you're refusing to pay your taxes because you are busy making money, the consequences will equally catch up with you. The tax masters will come knocking. Some responsibilities don't produce immediate rewards, but neglecting them will produce long-term consequences. And voting is one of those responsibilities. We cannot push voting as citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to the back burner. We cannot. We have to move it forward. It has to be top of mind, which is why we are here. One of the biggest lies we've told ourselves, right, is this: I'll do it later. I don't have time. My boss will not give me time. I'll collect my CV later. Oh, later I will transfer to my polling unit. Oh, I will learn about the candidates later. It's too much. There are too many candidates. There are too many political parties. I am tired. Later, later, that word, later, has stolen so many things. In the Warri Palace, I go do am later. By God's grace, that is the fun. That, that one is the one that the religious people use. By God's grace, I will. Let me tell you how. By God's grace, we'll put the right president. By God's grace, I will get my PVC. By God's grace, I will run and register. By God's grace. So it's either later or they lump it into God's grace. But later has robbed many nations of a better future. History is filled with people who postponed their responsibility until that postponed responsibility that they left unattended to arrived with its consequences. Dear Nigerians, dear Africans, we are currently eating the fruit of the irresponsibility we, as citizens of our various nations, failed to uphold. Now, let me be clear. This episode is not me coming here to just, it feels like I'm lambasting everybody. I'm just, no. This episode is showing our equal responsibility. I'm trying to clearly tell us that no matter who you are, the fact that you are 18 years and above, it is your civic responsibility by law for you to participate in an election. It is not whether you like it or not, whether it's convenient or not. It is a responsibility that we all collectively have to do. Whether you're in Africa, whether you're in Nigeria, whatever nation you're listening to me from, you must participate. It is compulsory. There's no wiggle room. There's no excuses. There's no reason why you should not. Because you live in that nation. Your whatever business or job you do, it's in that nation. If you pay taxes, you pay it to that nation. You have a form of national ID in that nation. So what else do you want to do if you're not participating? And how else can you participate that your voice will be heard if you don't get your PVC, your voter's card? Some Nigerians, I understand, and Africans, we work under very difficult conditions. Very difficult conditions. I know. I am a practicing HR professional and I understand the challenges. Every day, I hear all kinds of things. Why? You may wonder. I have a job board, and in that job board is mixed with all kinds of people. I get at least one, and this is me sounding very, I don't want to say the average number of feedback I get. I need a job. Please, can you help me? I've applied to 2,000. I have not gotten. I do complain every day. Complain. I don't want to even try to ask how many people have their PVC because I don't want my heart to break that deep. Artisans, transport workers, market traders, healthcare workers, security personnel, shift workers, CEOs, CFOs, all managers, supervisors, whatever cadre. I understand all the challenges we are facing. Right now, I don't think the average businessman can tell you in clear terms how their taxes work because it seems like the thing continues to change every day. We're not very sure. Today, something has come out, next tomorrow, something. So it's like, are you sure I'm not just I'm not just throwing money around, hoping for one thing to click? So I'm not trying to pretend that our realities are not real. No. But I want us to recognize that civic participation deserves planning, intentionality, and not by God's grace, it go better later. No, we have to intentionally plan how all of us collectively, citizens of our nations, can come together and participate in politics. We cannot leave it. We cannot leave it. We can't leave it. We can't. Now, I want to talk about something. There is a cost of when you postpone civic participation. There is, I see, if you are living in Nigeria, you are feeling that cost right now. You are already in pain. No matter how wealthy you are in Nigeria, you are feeling the effect of your civic participation, whether it's directly or indirectly, no matter how wealthy you are. Now, please understand that the intention is not just for you to go and register and then come and say, oh, I registered for vote. No, you are to register, you are to collect the card, you are now to prepare to physically show up and cast a ballot. Please understand, it's a three-way flow. Register or transfer. Remember, we talked about registering. First time voters, those that misplaced their voters card, first time voters. Yeah. Second level of it is go and get your card because that's another hurdle. Registration is done, one. Two, you have to go and get that card you registered for. Then three, you will now go to the ballot box on that day, to the ballot centers, and then you go and cast your votes. And in all of these three steps or four steps, depending on how you want to expound on it, you cannot give up at any point. You can't give up. You can't give up. You can't throw in the towel. Think about policy decisions that shape your business or your household budget right now. Whatever you used to spend for transportation, and I'm highlighting some of our problems because in previous times I'll say, no, let me not highlight it. But today I choose to highlight our problems. If you were budgeting 50,000 to fill your car last year, 2 years ago, me and you know that 50K cannot fill your car tank to go to work every day for 31 days, for 21 days. If you budgeted 500 naira to feed 3 years ago, me and you know that that 500 naira, it can't work. Except you want to be hungry at some point, having headaches and dealing with all the things that come when you don't eat and you're tasking your brain. Foreign exchange windows. Have you thought about the volatility? Those that have children abroad that are going to school, how is school fees drive treating you? How are you coping? Those that do business with forex, you have to change naira to another currency. How does that feel? Fuel subsidy decisions, the reversals up and down, tax policies, flooding, flooding. I want to say in Africa, flooding, because it's no longer just happening in Nigeria. We've seen all the videos. Flooding. This is why when you tell me that it doesn't concern you, and now your house is underwater, I'm wondering in my mind, what do you think will solve this? Do you think if we had intellectuals, the best of the best, with pedigree, with the technical know-how, with the talk and do spirit, the can do attitude, do you think our nation will be where it is today? And then you tell me that, no, I'm a bus driver. I know, because when your bus sank in the middle of the road and you could not push it because there was no towing van, when your child drowned in that water and there was no emergency service to come and pick your loved one from home, how did that make you feel? How did that, when the healthcare system in Nigeria did not have the basic amenities to treat your family member, to treat your loved ones, How did that make you feel? And then you tell me that we don't have time to go and get our PVC. You don't have time. But you have time to go and bury people, right? You have time to go and repair cars that are beyond repair. You have time to start saving another money to buy another car. Do you know how much is a car right now? You even have money to put in that. I went to the gas station some days ago, some weeks ago, and I told the fuel attendant to put a certain amount of fuel in my car. And they came to me to say, please, ma, did you say this amount? I said, yes. He said, hey. I said, I should confirm because I don't want to go and plot the wrong number and then you say that's not what you say. I said, why? He said, because since they've been selling fuel, the only amount of fuel they've been selling is 10K, 5K, 10K, 5K. He said, I think he has sold just 1,000, one to one person. Somebody bought 20,000 naira. And for those that are not in Nigeria, 20,000 naira fuel is about, let's say, $15 worth of fuel. And all the fuel they sold that day is less than $15. So when I was telling him to punch a higher figure, which still did not fill my tank, oh my God, that is the country that we are living in. Then somebody will now tell me that voting is not important. They don't have time. They can't do it. So you don't have time. But you have time to suffer. You have time to suffer, but you don't have time to go and register to vote. You don't have time to go and make your voice heard. You don't have time to go and the one power that you have, the one thing that you have that is supposed to change the trajectory of your nation, you say you don't have time to it, but you want to go and hustle. Hustle that the math is not mathing in terms of expenses and income, is not mathing again. But you have time to continue to do that work. But time to invest and say, okay, let me read about political parties. Let me go and register to vote. Let me go and pick up my card. You say you don't have time. Now, let's continue on this journey. Not voting does not mean you opt out of the consequences of the governance. Because all of us that opted from, not me, Sha, I can't add you guys to me because I voted. Everybody that did not vote, I am sure you are seeing the fruit of your negligence. Yes, when you don't vote, you are neglecting your rights. So it's a negligible act. You are enjoying the consequences or you are enduring the consequences. You will still pay that fair price. You will still drive on those bad roads. You will still absorb the exchange rates. You will still look for fuel, kerosene, all of the things, but gas. You will still buy it at the ridiculous prices you are buying it. It doesn't concern you now. You don't want to involve in dirty things. How is that working for you? Some people want to go abroad and school. The money they saved last year to be able to travel this year, that money is not working anymore. There is a cost. There is a cost for not participating in an election. Those costs continue to rise every day, line upon line, precept upon precept. So, if you have the motivation to show up at work, wake up at 4 a.m. This is why I understand that it is not a thing of motivation. Neither is it a thing of grit. Neither is it a thing of resilience because African people are resilient, dogged. That's why we built other nations and we're still building other nations. If we weren't so, why are they all in our, why are they, why? There are many things I don't want to talk about because that's not the bowl of contention. But I'm saying this to say that if you can wake up at 4 a.m. to catch a bus to go to work, you can go to INEC office and queue for as long as possible to get your voters registration done and get your voters card. That is what I'm saying. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. Yes, I'm hearing your thoughts and I'm saying it. That's what I'm saying. So I want to announce a simple idea to you. For those, I will share two categories. For those that are learned, educated masses of your various nations, and in this context, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I want to introduce to you what I call the Civic calendar. Everyone listening to this podcast on YouTube, you have an email. Surely you have a Google Calendar. If you are very disorganized, you have WhatsApp, you have reminders, you have alarm clock because you can set your alarm clock. Everybody sets their alarm clocks. CEOs, doctors, fashion designers, poets, musicians, pharmacists, teachers, students, everybody, we set alarm clock. Business owners, we all set alarms. We Some of us live by our calendars because why? The things we put on our calendars, they matter to us. We don't want to commit it to memory so that we don't forget. We don't want to just say, oh, I want to just, it's not wishful thinking you used to organize your life. We live by calendars. So why don't we treat our civic responsibility the same way? Think about it. You schedule your medical appointment, your hair appointment, your client meeting, your board meeting, your tax deadlines, when you pay salaries, when you pay your children's school fees, when you pay for your subscriptions, birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, be everything. You schedule everything. You keep money. This party, I want to do my hair, I want to do my lashes, I want to cut my hair, I want to wear this clothes. You schedule it all. Why? Why do you schedule it? Because what you schedule, you do it. What you plan for, you do it. So why are you not taking that approach for your civic participation? So why can't you? Today is July 1st. What says that you cannot add three things to your calendar for this month? And I say this now, I won't say for this month, I will say for the next 10 days because in Nigeria, the registration process closes, I think, 17th of this month. And you don't want to be doing last hour rush. So, how about scheduling time for your registration on your calendar? Set a day or two reminders, 1 hour reminder, 2 hour reminder for you to leave your office or your business or your workplace and go do this, your civic responsibility. Set another day. After you've registered, you can put a tentative date. I told you in the previous episode, they said between November, December, no, I think it's October, between October, November, December, the cards will be distributed. So can you check? Okay, in in October, October 1st, which is a good time. I would go on the portal and check where my registration is at, if my PVC is ready. Because sometimes they even send you a text message because they are getting technologically advanced. So they are improving their systems as well. Then the third election day, we all know the date, January 16th. Plan towards it. The moment, if they change the date, is fine. I told someone the least you can do, just watch one day, listen to news once a day. Not because of the bad news, but just to understand what's going on. Let's not rely on just social media trends, the cloud. Open our calendar. Let's block those time. Let's plan it. Let's protect it. Let's treat it as an appointment that we have. Psychologists who study behavior change have found something consistent. They said intentions that stay vague, that is, intentions like I will vote when I have time, they rarely get converted into action. So it is intentions that are attached to a specific day, time, or location that convert to that action. That's the difference between I plan to register and I'm registering on the X, on the 4th, on the 2nd, on the 3rd, on the 5th, whatever day you choose. Remember, it's 17 days countdown. That's if they don't postpone it. You have to treat this as important as your hospital appointment. Voters registration windows and PVC collection periods have been announced by INEC way ahead of time. If you missed it, it's okay. There is no sin, there's no problem. Just get up, schedule time, and keep it moving. Keep it moving. Now, I want to go to some practical things because I know those that work 9 to 5 will now say, Temi-san, we can't do this. My work will not give me the kind of flexibility. My workplace does not support me going to do my voters registration. You want to tell me all the things. I got you. I was prepared. I know all of us. We're on the same this thing. We're on the same track. I understand. So here's the plan. You have leave. This is just the 7th month of the year. You have leave, yes? Okay. Apply for leave one day. You think it's not worth it? Is the shege that you are seeing in Nigeria, is it okay for you? If it's not okay, you can sacrifice one day to go and collect your PVC, to go and register for your PVC, to go and transfer your PVC, to go and capture, to go and do your thumbprint. And do you know what's interesting? All of these things I'm saying are for people that maybe they went online and it did not work. Because as I'm talking to you, as a recording of this podcast, their portal is back to normal. Registration, all of it can be done online. Except you want to have the Nigerian physical experience of then you can go with your colleagues in the office. Because all of you collectively discuss the state of the nation. You lament and cry and wail when your children's school fees continue to be increased every term. Why can't all of you collectively decide to go and register? Is the friendship only for the pain? Is the community in your workplace only for the pain and the discussion of the frustration, but not discussion of the solution? Because I don't think any organization in 2026 today, you will go and tell them that I want to go and register for my vote, and they will tell you no. I don't, then that organization, something is very, very wrong with them. Something is very, very, because you didn't say you are going to do the wrong thing. You're going to exercise your civic duty. Let me not jump my notes. Plan ahead. Show your, sir, ma, I have to go register for my PVC. Can I take a half day? Can I not come early? I come in by 10 a.m., 11 a.m. so that I can quickly dash to the INEC office and do it so that I don't hear stories, because I don't want to assume that the portal is working because I have trust issues. So let me go there in person, do it and get my paper, my slip, my registration slip. If you're a business owner, this conversation is especially to you. People are working for you. You employ people. You are influencing families. You are shaping communities. You cannot say operation. Let me not go that route. Can you say Operation Civic Responsibility Week? The first three, you listen to the day you are listening to this podcast, the next day declare a public holiday in your workplace. Carry everybody in a bus straight to the INEC office. Buy them lunch. Everybody register. Except you don't have your PVC. Send them the mail that night, because when you want to give query, you can send query at 9 in the night. You can send query at 10. So why can't you send a mail? All staff, ensure you come with your PVC to work tomorrow or a proof of it. If you don't have such documents, note that tomorrow we are all going to the INEC office. Come with all your registration points. Compulsory for every staff. And then you make sure everybody has the opportunity to register. Imagine that kind of workplace. What kind of signal are you sending? You can even say, come with your spouse, those that are married. Come with your children that are above 18. The company will provide. Pack yourself and go to the INEC office. Until everybody is done, the boss can be taking them in batches back to the office. Do you know that singular act alone? That singular act alone creates a shift in the mindset of the people that you lead. This is how you build influence and lead the people beyond just bottom line, profits, merger, acquisition, new products, new line of development, advertising, blah, blah, blah. Beyond all of those things. That's leadership. Because your business does not exist it does not exist in a silo. It exists in an economy, and your current business economy is Nigeria. So if you don't help your people by making sure they vote, that's why they pressure you and tell you the money you're paying is not enough. They are grumpy, they are sad because the money is actually not enough, and there's nothing you can do because there's really nothing you can do. So you exist in a society, and the quality of that a society that you exist as a business eventually determines the quality of that your business. So when we say patronage is low, the people don't have buying power, because every money they earn is for what? Essentials. They don't have money for frivolities. And maybe your line of business is in frivolities. Who will patronize you? So when the government, when the policies improve, when the economic environment improves, infrastructure improves, consumer confidence improves, investment increases, security improves, your customers we have more purchasing power to patronize that your business. Your business will now become easier to run. And then why? Because your civic participation is not separate from your business. Instead, it protects your business. For the employers that are listening to me, I challenge you. You promote wellness, mental health awareness, male mental health awareness, breast cancer initiative support, community service, corporate social responsibility. All of these fantastic initiatives that continues to support the Nigerian system. But the one with the most effect is the civic participation. Perhaps it is time for us to now look at that as a responsible corporate citizen in your space of influence. Encourage lawful, peaceful participation. Inform your employees, help them plan, because democracy doesn't belong to only the politicians. It belongs to you and the people and your workplace. For the professionals, come closer. You say politics is for older people. Only my parents go to vote. Gen Z, no offense, because I'm proud of you all. I've been seeing many of you at the polling at the INEC offices that I go to visit to do some qualitative interviews. I see a lot of them, young people. It blows my mind. And I'm talking people in secondary school that are 18 years and above, people that are out of school. Everyone that has written WAEC that is 18 years, jam, you must have. I think it should be you, because what are you doing with your time? What are you doing with your time? Why can't you go and use this your time? Get a center, go on your parents' phone and register, or go to the INEC office. So for the young professionals, you say you want to focus on your career. I will vote when I'm settled. Right now, my mental health, your mental health, I've not seen shege. Wait, don't participate. What is coming when you don't participate? You will now understand what they call hell. You know the cost of housing. How much is those professional courses you want to take? Now, how many people have those professional certificates? And how is it that you can no longer move past that certificate you have just recently acquired? Because the other ones you want to apply for, they are now expensive. Your salary has not increased. Dollar has continued to increase. Pounds has continued to increase. You can no longer upskill. So that your career you want to build, that you think that going to get your voter's card is for people that don't have time. And by the time you want to write a professional exam and your naira that you saved, when you convert it, cannot pay half of that fee. And what's unfortunate is that these companies that do this professional exam, they don't give you the opportunity to pay in bits. You either have the full money or you forget about it. So every year, you continue to move backward. Not because anything is chasing you, because the economy continues to deplete. And it depletes, it affects everything. The policies that will shape your career, that will shape your industry, is going to be determined by who you vote in power. And I talk from top to bottom. Please don't think I'm only talking about presidency. That's why I say we have so much learning to do. We are on a journey. I'm sure many of you are seeing how your internet is finishing, how the quality of the internet is not stable. You can see all of the things that are happening, and you say you don't want to vote. And I understand some of you might ask, what difference will my votes make? Perhaps you should change that line of question. Please. Because for us to be saying what difference will my vote make is still that is a 80s behavior, 90s behavior, early 2000s behavior. It's not a 2026 behavior. We can't continue to say those things. If you don't know, listen to the other podcast, you will hear what I said about those elections in the past. The question we should be asking now is, what happens when millions of people each decide that their one vote doesn't matter? That's the question we should ask. What happens when millions of people each decide that their one vote doesn't matter? That is the silence. That's how we allow silence become power. That's how apathy now writes our policies. That's how disengagement will now become a culture for us nationally. And you remember, democracy does not happen on election day. It starts before then. It begins when you and I prepare, participate, and we do not leave our future to chance. That's when it begins. So I challenge you today. Open your calendar, set that alarm, go to your boss and take that leave. Take time off work. Ask for 2 hours extra, 3 hours extra. Be a participant, be an active participant. Stop dumbing yourself with social media. Stop dumbing yourself with the problems alone. The way to the solution is to first start by registering to vote. Schedule it. And then when the time for collection has been set, schedule that time. When the time for election day comes, protect that date. Tell your family and friends, spread the word, tell your colleagues, inspire one to another. The people that work for you, your security guard, your nanny, your chef, your cook, all those need to enforce that they work for you, they get their PVCs. Build your life around the moments that shape our nation, because that nation that we want to change starts from one home, one family. And if we're waiting for the perfect time, the spare time, when all lines, all things will align, when would that be? When would that be? So I leave you with this question. If you can make time to earn a living, can we afford not to take time? Can we afford not to make time to shape the society in which we live in? Because the quality of your work tomorrow, of your hustle tomorrow, may very well depend on the choices we make as citizens today. If this episode challenged your thinking, please don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your colleague, your business owner, your boss, your HR. Share it with your HR. And HR, if they share it to you, bring up a policy. Allow these people go and get their voters card and let them come with a proof. If you're a business owner, give perks for those that have their PVCs. Do everything within your niche to ensure participation. Your church, your WhatsApp groups, your communities, your families. Let us raise a generation of Africans who understand that democracy is not something we sit by the sidelines and watch, that it is something we build together. It is something we build together, hand in hand, encouraging each other through it all. No matter how difficult it is, we push until the change we desire comes. I don't think this is a time problem. Because I've never really believed that we don't have time. We make time for the things we want. So please schedule, plan to attend, and until next time, keep thinking, keep participating, keep standing as one oak of the oaks of Africa. Please, my final words: an informed citizen is a nation's greatest asset. An informed citizen is a nation's greatest asset. Until next time, keep learning, keep building, and keep being resilient. Thank you.